Okay. Welcome back, everybody. Today we're going to learn chapter 41. We're going to start learning chapter 41. We're really understanding the different dimensions of our world. There's really three major dimensions or deeper dimensions to our world. We live in the world of Asiya, the world of action. There's a deeper dimension, which is the world of Yetzirah, or formation. It's like the vibrations which form the world which we live. It's a deeper dimension. It's a deeper world. It's a parallel universe. And then there's another even deeper universe, a parallel universe, and it's the world of Bria. Now, these worlds are really just like you have thoughts, you have your speech, and then you have the actions. These things are really God doing those. We're all inside God. God is thinking us, speaking us, moving us, animating us, and and we're inside that. Now, we're going to find out like what is the world of action. So we're going to find out that God's thought, like the deepest universe, that's the idea of meaning, and God's speech is the idea of like shaping the vibrations, and God's action is the pictures. So God speaking is an audio, it's more of an audio universe, and God's action is more of a visual universe. So we live in the like the visual universe where everything has pictures, and then there's the meaning to those pictures, the meanings to those sound, and that's the deepest universe, the world of Bria. Now, why is this significant? Because part of the the commandment of connecting everything to the oneness, we need to understand the process in order to be able to effectively connect everything in our minds to the oneness and see the oneness of the world. We're going to read inside V'niyidu Binyan HaMaimer. Now, it's known regarding the statement, the Ema Uzifas Manha Lebrasa. This is not Hebrew. This is Aramaic. It sounds like the Zayar. The mother lends her clothes to her daughter. And this is like this is Kabbalah. Mother lends clothes to her daughter. It sounds like, some sort of family event. Well, this is actually a code. And what happens in the real world when a mother lets her clothes to the daughter is a metaphor for what's going on in the code. And that means that the left brain, which is the mother, lends her clothes. In other words, the ability to divide ideas, labrasa, to the daughter is speech. So, in other words, the speech, the division of speech, it actually comes from the left brain. Otherwise, I would sound like drunk. So it's my left brain performing the function of dividing the words that actually ends up in the daughter, which is my mouth. So a similar thing happens on a cosmic level as well. Shu bechinas haigvurus mansapach. The division are really, there are five um, forms of focus energy that are called mansapach. Mansapach is really five letters in the Hebrew alphabet, which they have double letters. Double letters meaning to say that there is one way we write the letter when it's in the middle of a word, and a different way we write the letter when it's at the end of the word. And the idea of something being at the end of the word is the idea of making a strong division, because in a word, one letter ends, another one begins. But where does this concept, where does the concept end? Sometimes you could have two words like almost molded together. You don't know if it's one word or two words. But when you have any of these five letters there, we know that the word has ended. And these five letters that have this ability are have this divisive power, and really that divisive power gives the ability of the left brain to divide all words and all sentences and all paragraphs from these five powers. Pisuche Chesem, these are Pisuche Chesem means engraved. They basically as I understand it, that it just engraves a separation. That's the idea of putting together letters, but then dividing them, dividing the ideas, the machshava in the mind. Commission goes with Zera, like it's written in the Zera Apostle, the Kol Ater Nishma Baratzenu, the voice of the dove is heard in the land. That's a code. The voice of the dove represents the energy of Yesod, the energy of connection, of deep connection. And dove is like, dove is of peace, nice, beautiful little birds. And Nishma Baratzenu are heard in our land. The land refers to Malchus, which is the power of speech. In other words, it's the emotion of connection which allows speech. But where does that division come from? It comes from the left brain. So it's basically a whole system which is allowing speech to happen. Like it's written in another place. So, and to preface the understanding of how things work is that there's actually three parts in thought itself. And these parts are, because listen, this is very important, because ultimately we're inside God. Everything in the universe is inside God, and God is like ideas inside a brain. That's what's happening. So it's really doesn't never leaves God. It never really becomes action, never really becomes words. So what does it mean? It means three levels. These three levels in thought itself. Thought or thought, which we're going to find out later on. This is what is meaning, right? Meaning, and to really grasp meaning, you need to be human. V'dibur shebemachshava, speech in thought, which this is audible thought. U'maises machshava, and action inside thought, which this is picturing. Advarim, an explanation of these three modes is Yudua Tznon Liyez Muvur al Mailex, explained above by Islam in chapter 37. Sheesh Gimel Madregas Bechinas Tiberlei B'Leisius. There are three levels. The idea of taking a picture without any divisions, without any letters. In other words, a snap picture of the entire situation. It's like a little baby. He doesn't have thought. What do you mean a baby doesn't have thought? What he does have is the ability to take big pictures. But he's not able to divide up the components of the picture and recompose them. All he has is able to imagine and make a picture in his thoughts. It's all one big picture. And only when he starts differentiating between the way his mother looks and his father looks and other people look, and he's able to recognize his mother through visual, then he's starting to have the idea of dividing up a picture. You know the old cameras that couldn't pick up where a person's face is when you're taking a picture? Nowadays, the cameras have the ability to guess where a person's face is, and they make this box around the person's face, right? So that's what the old cameras is like, the thoughts of a child at the beginning when he's born, and then as time develops, he's able to say, oh, I recognize the face, and the face is different from the rest of the picture. Now, he develops a little bit and he's able to focus on one thing in the picture, but it's not. Let's look further. Let's scroll up. That he's actually going to think about that thing. Think about that thing is he's going to think up options in his mind, because on this they say the katan ein lo machshav. We say a child doesn't have thought. What do you mean he doesn't have thought? He doesn't have the ability to visualize a different scenario klal at all. Gam keshigdal ma'at, even when he grows a little bit, v'yesh lo tzrufei his chalkus oisius, and he's able to divide up the entire picture, recognize the difference between his bed and his mother and everybody. B'machshav, and his thoughts einam oisius gemurim. It's still not considered complete letters. The only thing he's able to do is to focus on a certain thing, like his bottle of milk, Davka specifically. He's able to think about what that you gave him, like the bottle of milk. And he's able to make able to recognize the difference between this one and that different one. And he's able to say, I want this and I don't want that. He's going to throw out what he doesn't want. The empty bottle is going to be thrown out of the cart. Like it's not. Who is Chalkus Inyan Hamachshava? That's the idea of the mind being able to divide. And what this child is starting to do is what we call action in thought. So the fact that we live in the world of action means we live in the world of pictures, and of course, audio and deeper levels as well. But the bottom line of this world, why is it called the world of action, is because of the pictures. And in a by a big person, the world of pictures is that he's able to think, visualize, picture how to do something, and to make a painting in his mind, and actually to write it up in the parts, point by point. He's able to make a manual of how to do something. He's thinking, and he's picturing in his mind everything he needs to do in actual action. Even the ability to picture words in his mental TV screen. Or called Davar Nivdal, or the ability to separate every physical object. Kapriya, it's like the fruit, or a fruit and a tree. He's able to look at a fruit tree and say, this is the fruit and this is the tree. Vitir, Kol, Tamuna, any picture, B'kai Gavna, and similar phenomenon. Akol Nikra Asiya Sheba Machshava. This is all called action in thought. V'katan Einloi. Gam Bechinas Machshava. A small child doesn't even have this ability to picture, to create picture in his mind. Rak Bechinas Dimyam Bilvad. All he's able to do is just to imagine. That's it. V'im Kol Zeh. Nevertheless, the experience of a child is of being able to create imagination is higher than the imagination of dreams. In other words, a child's experience of life is a little more than a dream. It's a little more sophisticated than a dream. Wait, I don't see. Can we pick up the letters, the words? In the hands of the prophet, I will make a picture. Basically, he goes into the imagination. He basically creates an imagination in the minds. God makes an imagination in the mind of the prophet, and the prophet sees what he's imagining, says what he's imagining, sorry. It's only in the thoughts of So basically, in a way, the prophet is just like seeing a dream. And when a person sleeps, the lowest level of cognitive ability, which is the ability to picture, that's what remains when a person sleeps. In thoughts. And by the way, our present state is sort of like it's compared to dreaming. In other words, our experience of the world is just like the difference between a real life and a dream, where only our lowest abilities are functioning. In other words, a picture is not a picture, and what we experience is not experience. We're just basically like sleepers, like zombies compared to what we could be, to our potential. Our experience of life is almost like a zombie experience compared to what it could be. There's much more here than we imagine. Like it's written in Tehillim, we are like dreamers. Haim me'ein hirhure liba. And by the way, person's dreams are similar to what a person thought about in their heart during the day. What happens is that in order for the soul to go up and to be revitalized, it needs to drop what it thought about the weekday, the basically the mundane thoughts of that day need to be shaken off the soul, and the angel shakes the soul in order the mundane thoughts should drop off. But now that they drop off, they are disorganized. So you basically have a bunch of pictures disorganized, and they haphazardly reorganize themselves into other sets, and they create dreams. So a person dreams about things at nighttime, about what he thought about during the day. It's in a totally different order. Every picture is now shaken and reorganizes itself in a different order. So that's why it doesn't make any sense. Now, I guess we're going to stop here. We're going to stop here for now. And we have now just spoken about what is Ma'aseh Machshava, what is action in thought. Action in thought, ready, set, action is pictures. And we've spoken about different modes of pictures, the modes of dreams, the modes of a child, the modes of most sophisticated modes. But all of this is vision in thought. And we're going to leave it there this week. And we're going to continue on next week. And we're going to find out about audio.
Wow, beautiful, Rabbi Chirek. Thank you so much. Wow. Okay.
Okay.
Let's stop recording.